That's it. That is absolutely it. There is no way I can actually keep up with. For the first time ever, I am seeing way too many complaints out there, and the most complaints. It is by far and away now confirmed. I'm, of course, going to show you guys a few, as well as I'm sure you guys have seen many more and maybe made some yourselves, that being tweets and complaints about our latest update. And on top of that, of course, patch 8.2. If that wasn't bad enough, if you were here yesterday, we explained the ban of stretch res for competitive Fortnite out there, and the backlash has been extreme so far. But I also want to kind of touch on the other side of things very briefly as we break down a few stories out there, and the amount of complaints out there from pro players. I totally understand. If you guys know the ban of stretch res from in-game tournaments as well as competitive Fortnite, I would say there's two arguments even to that. You know, from a viewership perspective, I think competitively as well, it's in all fairness, stretch res was an unfair advantage, right? Of course, many people out there had the opportunity to use it, but all in all, when you want to level the playing field, stretch res was not a good thing for competitive Fortnite. So I understand that side of it, but I also understand the other side when it comes down to it. You allow these players, especially throughout Secret Skirmish, have custom resolutions. They use a variety of stretch res, and within 10 days of World Cup qualifiers, Epic says, yeah, we're going to just kind of ditch the old system and bring in this new one. So you allow these players for so long to actually practice on non-native resolution and then revert them all and force them all back to native resolution amongst one of the most important qualifiers these players will ever undergo. It's pretty, of course, you're going to expect some backlash out there. Along with that, of course, just the pure competitive advantage and maybe even the frame rate improvement that pro players see. I see all these excuses either for or against this ban of stretch res, and it's so confusing now at time we're in Fortnite because there are so many different angles, so many different arguments out there between pro players, you know, between pro and also still competitive players. Then there's the casual players, and I think as well, the overall question has to be asked is, why do us casual players care? You know, I'm sharing my opinion, but it really does not affect me near as much as it should the pro players. So when it comes down to it, all the arguments I've seen out there, all of the changes so far, of course, 50 HP shield, the harvesting bonuses for farming, along with other things as well being reverted, that affects casual play as well, because I'm a casual player, I can't go into arena mode. But when it comes down to the stretch res as well as competitive Fortnite, you know, it really only affects a very small number of people, and we are now seeing a vast number of people now just contribute to the hate and all of the arguments out there, which certainly does not help. You know, obviously I don't think a lot of the changes they have made have been in a good direction, but still, when you think about it, I think the overall issue is not exactly what was changed, but the execution of doing it is what Epic has done time and time again very poorly. And so that's where I really feel for, you know, the casual players. Yes, we're suffering with the difference between the original game and arena mode. You know, if you don't want to wait for the queue times, if you're not good enough to actually play arena mode, I understand your struggles, trust me, I do. But when it comes down to competitive play, those are the players I feel the worst for. People who dedicate their lives and countless hours to this game. As a competitive or a pro Fortnite player, I truly feel bad for the way you're being treated, because I don't know many organizers that do these things countless times over. And that is one thing I've been on Epic's back about ever since probably 4 to 6 months ago. You know, we saw planes, we saw swords, we saw so many things being changed and metas being shifted just days outside of huge events. I think it was actually back to Summer Skirmish finals. We also saw Secret Skirmish as well, Winter Royale, a lot of huge changes dropping just days before big tournaments. And now you have this, just another pencil on top of the stack to break the camel's. That was going to be a stupid tag. I'm not going to use that. But there's just been so many things, and you wonder, when is it going to end? When are they finally going to wake up and say, hey, let's make a good decision today. Let's make a good update. And then again, you got to feel for them at the same time. And this is what I'm talking about. There's so many arguments out there and so many sides you can take. It's kind of hard to actually see what can actually be fixed, and no one would complain about it, right? And then everyone says, oh, just fix frame rates, just fix late game, in-game performances issues, which is definitely going to be a good move, and they're working on that kind of stuff, so you can't really complain too much about that. And then come the complaints about pro players and queue times. You know, why they don't like arena mode is because of queue times, and I understand that. But then you look at the other side of things, what Epic sees is we have many games out there with ranked game modes, you know, League of Legends, CSGO, Overwatch. As you progress through the ranks and get to higher ranks, the queue times become longer no matter what game you're in, because yes, you progress higher through the ranks, there are less amount of people at those higher ranks, therefore longer queues. And even then, Epic did address that in our last post. So if they can actually execute that, they're certainly doing some things in the right direction. It seems like overall, though, I think my main issue, and I'm curious what you guys think, because again, like I said before, there are so many directions on all the posts out there people are taking down at Epic that doesn't really affect the people that are complaining. But I do feel for these pro players out there. My overall main issue is the execution of doing so, the timing of doing so, and what they're doing. I have no idea what Epic is, indeed trying to do on their timeline, what they're trying to resolve, because other issues are being brought to light every single day, and it's almost hard to actually combat all of them. I mean, we even have Cloaksy coming forward and bringing up a topic that I had no idea about. When you think about the progression of the timeline between these qualifiers, the current season we're in, during the qualifiers will change seasons, and by the time we also get to the World Cup final, the main stage event in New York, another new season will drop, and that kind of blows my mind. So here's his clip.
So qualifiers are 10 weeks, right? 3 of the 10 weeks are going to be on this meta. So you're going to have balls, you're going to have people. First of all, this meta is terrible. You're going to have people that's going to breeze by the World Cup by abusing balls and have a chance to qualify in the 3 weeks. And then after the 3 weeks of the 10 weeks, it goes on to a new season. So there's going to be brand new map, brand new mobility, brand new everything for the last 7 weeks of the qualifiers, right? And then the World Cup is played on the weekend. The week before the World Cup is a brand new season. So
I'll be right back. Super quick. I'm ready up though.
The World Cup's not played on this season. The World Cup's not played on next season. It's played on the season after that.
And to be quite honest, I don't even know the direction of this video. Yeah, because there are so many sides, so many arguments. I don't even know what point I'm trying to make at this time. I'm kind of just hoping to get your thoughts down below. What you think the main issues of the game are so far. What are your arguments? Are you a casual player? Are you a competitive player? Do you play the in-game tournaments? Are you by chance a pro player? What are your issues? Because I think each and every stage of player out there, casual, competitive, competitive is probably the in-between between casual and then pro players as well. I think we all have our main issues. We all have our main problems. But what are the solidified, unanimous problems between all 3 of those is probably the bigger question we hope to get answered by Epic sometime soon. And when it comes down to it, it's just crazy to see the amount of problems currently in this game right now. And I've never seen the hate be this bad for Fortnite. And it's a pretty scary place to be, especially when you think about once this year is over or once this World Cup event is over, where are these pro players going to go if the money's no longer there? And then after all this time, Epic has the balls to take to their Twitter team after releasing 2 of one of the most, at least the most controversial updates, one of them arguably being the worst single update Fortnite has ever seen, that being 8.2, reversion of everything. I'm sure you guys already know the details about that. And following, of course, all of that commotion last week, then we had yesterday the banning of stretch res, 2 of the most controversial updates by far in Fortnite history. And Epic has the goal to actually tweet out this, and there is no way they did not expect us to have the play on words, right? Are they jabbing an open wound as they literally say, kind of ironically enough, they had to know, right? As they literally ruin the game with their last 2 updates and then tweet out that, ironically enough, speaking about Twitter, we also had yesterday that their own Twitter got hacked. If you guys have not seen those tweets, I believe it was at least 1 or 2 kids. Hey, if you guys are going to hack Epic, you best be prepared to be taken to court. So yes, it was funny, okay? I was actually on Twitter the time these tweets were gone live. There's been a slew of them, though, if you guys want to see all of them as well. Not really worth mentioning too much out there, although one of them was, to revert the patch, which would have been a dream come true. But either way, I'd be careful for you guys. I had a good laugh, but I hope you don't end up in jail. Epic has pursued children before in court, so good luck. But yeah, that's it for Fortnite news. I don't know where this was going. Please do me a favor, leave a comment down below what you guys think about this. Hopefully next time I see you, we'll have actual Fortnite news out there. I just seen so much commotion. There's so many angles, so many arguments. It's impossible for, of course, probably Epic to solve it without backlash, but it's also very hard for me to actually talk about it and cover every single point. I understand there's a lot of different sides to a lot of arguments out there, but overall, I think we can all agree this game is certainly not going in the right direction over the past few weeks. As always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy. Until next time, take care.